Hello, everyone. This is Dee.
This is Keep It Real Carter.
Yes, it is. And Key is en route. We want to start this particular show off by saying happy birthday to her father. Today is his birthday. So she is en route from being over there with him to celebrate another year, the beginning of another year of
Another
life.
trip around the sun.
Right. That's it. That's
A
it. So
blessing to be a father and still be able to celebrate. Celebrate that man, girl. Celebrate that man.
I know that's right. I know that's right. I'm like, it's so funny because, sometimes you just kind of you take certain things for granted, and then when it's not something that you're able to do anymore, it's like, man, if only I had said this, or if only I had done that, or if only. And, but once it's done, it's done.
Yeah.
So I applaud her for making it a point um to
Yes.
celebrate him and his life, while she still got him here. For those of you that are getting ready to actually um, share this to YouTube and to the this thing page, because Facebook, for those of you that did not see it, Facebook is doing what Facebook does. It is currently it is currently, let's see, yeah, public. Oh well, who cares? Post. We are live. And I'm sharing it now, Alvin, to my page. I'm gonna go back and there you go. I think I can tag you and a few other people, just to, and make sure that you all are um, able to go ahead and share it as well. I'm just gonna put your name in there. Well, post to Facebook. I can go back later. But what I am doing now, I am sharing it out. I'm going to ask uh, those of you that will to do the same. I am getting ready to post it to this thing page as well. And so before we jump into our topic, which is, yeah, there's only one person that could actually cover this and cover all of the above at once with us in the way that we do it. And that is Mr. Keep It Real Carter himself.
I don't know about that, but I thank you so much for thinking so highly of me.
Look, man, look, you look, and I hate to say it this way, but there's certain people that are just gonna give it to you raw and uncut. They're not gonna try to cookie cut, put it in a cute little cookie cutter, use a
I don't
cookie
have enough
cutter
sense
to
for that.
make
That
it
takes that.
fit
You
and
have to think
try
to
to
do that.
decorate it, huh?
You have to think to be able to do that. I don't have enough sense to do that.
Right. It's like, you're not gonna turn around and get a little doomaflage and try to throw a bunch of little sprinkles on top. You're gonna just give it to us the way that you give it to us. And it is, and we are most appreciative of how you give it.
Well, I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, we are true, raw, and uncut, unfiltered. Even though we try to do things in a dignified manner at times. Oh, so you talk about sipping tea. Yeah. So if so I have shared the link to the This Thing page, and I'm going to tag a few people. Um, I'm going to tag a few people in as we do this. Um, I hear my sister, so she will be joining us when she can. Um, but I'm I'm trying to. Okay, here we go. And I don't mean to put a pause on everything for everybody, but like I said, I'm going through now and I'm tagging people in so that those who would normally watch us on the This Thing page, they can actually tune in.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube, because like I said, Facebook is doing what Facebook does.
Well, let
And
Facebook
it
alone.
tickled me because when we were setting it up to actually, let everything be what it needed to be, it said that we were blocked from doing this. And it was like, say what, dude? What? So, but us being who we are, we're gonna always find a way to make it do what it do.
Yeah, they're trying to be careful after what happened on January
Right,
6th. Yeah, January 6th. So they're trying to be
right.
careful. So they're just doing a blanket. If there's buzzwords or keywords there.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's dealing with, but see, we've got it all wrapped up in one: race, religion, rhetoric, and responsibility. So, um, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of hit it from the perspective of where we start, with the race part of it, which is where our country is actually we've really been fighting that battle since the beginning of time, but
Yeah.
especially since President Obama was. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. But especially since President Obama came into office. My sister is here. Hold up, y'all. We're gonna have to make some adjustments. So me there's
Hey,
there's the
hey.
pretty one.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Wonderful.
I told him we were celebrating Pop's birthday
Yes.
today.
Yes. Kay cut his hair.
Really? Oh
Yeah.
wow. So we're doing a whole lot of firsts around here these days in our life of quarantining.
Yeah, I
Okay.
need to see a barber too.
Well, if you're cutting it off, I can hook you up.
What'd you say?
I said, if you're cutting it all off, I can hook you up.
Oh no, no, I can't cut it all off. No, no.
I said, no, that
I
ain't
like
work.
I like the feeling of my hair being pulled. Oh, wrong show, wrong
See?
show, wrong show, wrong show.
That's okay. Look, we are dealing with this thing called life all the time, all day, every day. And so, it is what it is, and we're not gonna sidestep anything at this point in time, but um we're going to go ahead and, like I said, go ahead and jump out there. And we're going to start with the race aspect of things. Now, like I said, we have dealt with, now we're live on the Key D page.
Okay.
So if you want to share out, because I have not done that to like the groups or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, we're having a whole business meeting in the middle of the show. But like I said, for me, we've been dealing with race, of course, forever. But it started to really become prevalent when President Obama came into office. And because when he came into office, a lot of people stopped hiding how they really felt. A lot of people started to really allow their true feelings concerning not just blacks as a whole, but blacks in power and blacks in position. Because as
It was
long as
their
we stay
privilege.
in our place, they don't have any issues with us. But when we get in a position of power, the game changes.
Completely.
I agree. I agree. They've done throughout time. They've made it a point of making sure we know our place.
Yes.
They make it a point. It, even you would think we're four generations since the death of Martin Luther King, and
Something like that, yeah.
you would think that things would have changed so much. Uh, Ironically, you mentioned President Obama's run or tenure in office.
Yes,
When
sir.
they were having the debate in January of this year about voting to accept the Electoral College's vote, Lindsey Graham got up and said, "Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again, that President Trump was a consequential president," basically suggesting that he only became president because of who he followed, his predecessor. He had the guts to say, "Let's make America great again." In fact, Trump was one of the first ones to challenge the legitimacy of Obama's birth. So he immediately began to set up. I don't think he thought he would win, but because he likes attention. uh,
Right. It truly did shock him when
yeah, yeah.
it shocked him and a whole lot of other people.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's because they bowed down. And if you think it's just because of party lines and party affiliations, no, it's about who has the most. Because Mitt Romney never supported him, and was the few Republicans who stood strong against him, basically to say, "Dude, I ain't scared of you." When I look at
Right.
him, I hear what he says. He reminds me of Bernie Mac on Def Comedy Jam. "I ain't scared of you, bro."
Right. Right. And that's
and so
basically
and,
that's
and
basically where we are.
and that's funny with that. I'm going on a tangent. Let me get back here, but you would think that racism would have depleted and diminished. You had integration. The North probably more racist than the South, even because it was hidden and it was covert. You always knew it, but it was never out in the open. Whereas in the South, you just do it. So
And being from
the
the South,
police
you're
became
exactly
the
right.
police officers. Well, I always equate police officers to slave catchers because they weren't so much about law and order, just making sure that we were in order,
Stayed in
and
our
they used
place.
the law against us.
Mm-hmm.
I remember once when we were on the other show, we asked our guest from White Persuasion, "Do you ever get nervous driving the car with a policeman got behind you?" He said, "No." We all did because we just knew we would get pulled over.
Yeah.
Um, we tried to explain to him white privilege and explain to him the differences between the two. Honestly, uh, I can say racism lives because of a few things. To name a few, they teach it. They still teach it. They still teach it to their young.
Oh, yeah.
They still teach it to their young. Then another reason is the media perpetuates it by the images that they show,
Yes.
by what they tell our young people how black should be. Yeah, yeah. How they act, how they carry themselves. Then Uh, we emulate it because the media controls everything that our community does. Our community, you can go through history and you can see how we have changed as a people and how we dress, how we talk, how we carry ourselves. But you can go back in history and basically you'll see everybody else still act the same.
Right.
Every other ethnicity still acts the same. Even in our worship, our church is not like it used to be. Christian church is so different now. It used to be Church of Holiness. Now it's Church of Hollywood. It's Church of Hollywood to me. So some of that is us not stop being afraid to own our African American heritage, not African heritage. And I'm not against African heritage, but it's like we forget about who we are. We're here. That's important to know. But we ain't going back there. We need to develop it here.
Well, we've already developed. It's a matter of, like you said, stop being punks about it and just go ahead and own who we are.
Uh, okay, let's. While we're here, I gotta throw it out there.
Throw
Even
it out.
down to how we appear. How we appear. A friend of mine who works with the court system says they have yet to see. They have never seen so many young black people come looking so unfinished and unkept. Their lives are unloved. Hair, because a judge does not know nappy hair is a style. It looks unfinished. It looks unkept. Like you don't care.
It does not look Europeanized.
And I'm not against hair texture. I'm talking about hairstyle.
No.
It looks crazy.
But see, that's the thing. If it were cut into a ball fade, if it were straight
Yeah,
and
I'm talking about straight
hanging
hair.
or in a ponytail, where, like, even if it was curly and, it and neat, then it's deemed acceptable.
Well, we're in a culture. Yes, we have subcultures, but there's certain. Okay, mom used to say, "Act like you got some sense, look like you
Uh-huh.
got some sense," and I think we've gotten away from that in so many ways, which perpetuates the wheel of racism. Look at them.
Right.
Look how they act. Look how they behave. Look how they
Right.
carry themselves. We cannot continue to give them ammunition to hate us just on appearance alone.
Right.
Our skin does that by itself. So we have to accept the fact that they don't like Nat King Cole had one of the highest rating television shows on TV. But they took it off the air after 1 year. He says, this is words he said. I saw the documentary. He said, unfortunately, we have to cancel the show because some people are afraid of the dark. He didn't point it. It looked like he's pointing at his watch, but he touched his hand. They're afraid of the dark.
He didn't lie.
Right. Now, here's the thing. We have to learn how to use that fear positively, but change it from fear to respect.
Okay.
We have to change it from fear to respect. We fear our own sometimes.
Yes, some people do.
Based upon how they look, how they carry themselves, how they articulate themselves.
And where we are located at the time.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because East Side, certain parts, after hours, unless I'm going to rescue somebody that I know and love, I will call roadside assistance for them.
Or go straight
East Side. I'm sorry.
See?
Right.
It's Alvin.
I know.
It's
That's why you see
Alvin.
I stopped. I stopped.
I was about to say perfect segue. But yeah, you're exactly right. And see, you pulled it perfectly when you started talking about the church. And, that's where the quote unquote religion aspect of it comes in, because there's, people, instead of politics being what it once was, where people actually came together for the betterment of the nation, even though, like you said, there were those subsets of individuals that were in political office. for the most part, people came together as, to find things and find compromise and resolutions, that would benefit the country as a whole. We can't say that now. It's either you're red or you blue. There's no purple anywhere up in there.
Oh, no.
There is it doesn't matter if you have a R by your name. It doesn't matter if your personal constituents in your state, in your county, in your whatever can benefit from that program. If it is brought to the table by someone with a D behind their name,
it can be right.
You better not vote for
the right people. It's wrong.
You better not. That's going to be, and it's sad to say, but that's where we are right now politically.
We've always been that way. We've always been that way. And I think it's asinine and immature.
To say the least.
But because many politicians, career politicians, and power is so seductive, power is so alluring, that they play power games with people. First thing they do is they get rid of anybody who has knowledge or ability to get rid of them. We used to have some help in D.C., but they got rid of them. They got rid of them. And unfortunately, there's another thing. We don't protect each other.
At all.
Because there's no way Jesse Jr. should have failed at the expense of what happened with the open seat in the Senate and the presidency. He's been like, hey, they got me out here. They're the reason I became a state senator in the first place to get known. He's like, I'm up here now. Y'all got to handle that. Almost like his wife showed up. That's a whole nother discussion because I've gotten in trouble.
Because it's a part of this one, because that's why so many of us as Blacks lost so much respect for him, not just him, but even Al Sharpton. It was like they became ambulance chasers. They became case chasers more so than cause representatives, like they were at one point in time. They became too, quote unquote, political.
Well,
they became too political
to keep us informed.
I'm sorry?
They needed to be political to keep us informed and to help guide us with the power of our vote. But at the same time, you're right. They don't want to see them on here because one thing they did, whenever they went to a problem scene, they should have came there to solve the problem. They should not have come there saying, hey, I can help you, but I need some help. Let them decide that. Let them decide that. Get you another form of base to fund that.
And I think that's
you put Reverend behind your name. Why? Why'd you put Reverend behind your name if you're not going to evangelize? Why'd you put Reverend behind your name if you're not going to preach the gospel? Just be who you are. Just be who you are. And don't use the Reverend to develop another level of respect.
You need that extra check.
Right. Now, granted, it's expensive to help our people.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And that's why if we're going to combat racism, we have to do it on a different level of economics. I had some notes here and got them all mixed up, playing around with them.
That's all right. Give them to us. They always fit just like they do.
Everybody say we got to come together, but how? They never say how to come together. Just say come together. How? I have to say it like this: we got to come together first and foremost by what kept us this is far, because they could have wiped us out. They would have. The great prophet Richard Pryor said, "I do some new niggas." He said that instead of.
I'm going to give you a how. You don't try to fix what's not broken. When you have, like here, and I'm going to use Indianapolis as an example. There are some grassroots organizations that kick butt with helping the people, that are, and the individuals are respected by the different levels of what you would say government, which would be like, downtown and with the suit and tie government versus the organizational government, which would be like the churches and the this, that, and the third, and then the government of the hood. It was like they are respected because they are consistent.
That's key.
And
absolutely.
So you have a couple of them, and I'm just saying a couple, I'm sure there's more than two, that come together regularly. But then you have those who are in the suit and ties that, the only time you really hear about anything is when a photo op is attached to it. And so, and when the ones that are truly grassroots have tried to connect and build and work with those suit and ties, it becomes a matter of, okay, that's cool, but we need to do it this way. And see, me, I'm not in any of those leadership positions. I'm on the outside, but I grew up in a home where community service was, heck, I was born into community service. I'll just say it that way. And when you have those suits and ties that are so pompous until they won't listen to those that are being effective, that's where the problem comes in. We have the how, but we need to let the suit and ties realize sometimes you need to turn the cameras off. Sometimes you need to take that tie off and put on your gym shoes. Take the Stacy off, but put on those gym shoes. Put on your gym shoes. Put on those jeans.
You ain't need me for this show. Oh, girl, you said
it. Gonna hit the board. But I know, right? Oh, right, you ain't got the keyboard in front of you.
Play your shirt.
You gonna play your shirt? Okay. but
honestly, I actually wrote. We have to learn. We have to decide to protect and provide for our own without hostility, but humility. That was one of the things I said. I was going to say.
But see, you said the key word, without hostility. People, when you tell them, okay, well, I need for, even though you may, I may be on this particular side of town and I might still be driving my 1987 Datsun, and you may be rolling in your, brand new Chrysler 300.
Yeah, but that 87 Datsun a better car if you still got it.
What you just said, I mean, because if you get in an accident, guess which one gonna save your life?
Yeah, you right. Get $10 and fill the tank too.
that in today's world, that would be a blessing.
True.
Yeah.
But so it's a situation, like you said, you have to be able to do it without hostility. And the ones with the suits and the ties, a lot of times, unless they came from a certain segment of the city or a certain type of community, they don't mind getting out there. But then you have those that are too good for
it. It has to be a love for it.
Mm-hmm. And see, and
this is a labor of love. Just like I tell somebody, I tell people all the time, teachers don't just teach because they're hiring at that school.
No, y'all sure don't teach.
It's something you love. It's a love for it. You gotta love it.
Soldiers.
Yes, the heck they are.
And we beat each other up. We beat each other up more than any other profession. And we should be the strongest, but we're not. I mean, you think about it. We get up on. We're the most hated and disrespected because big business see us only as a need for so long.
Well, hell, no one would know how to add and subtract and read if it weren't for the teachers.
Right. That's why, because they said we need technology caused us to have educated people to work, to be workers. So we lost part of the workforce to teach.
You all are just worker bees.
That's how they see us. And unfortunately, we have those people, the suits and the ties, who pull up to the table. Okay.
And dictate 15 pounds.
Make sure I got listen. Okay, make sure my pie is good. Okay, good. Now we're gonna take one pie and and y'all split it with the rest of you.
Right.
You want to
Right.
do that too? Okay, I'll make sure they do that as long as my pie good.
Okay, now see that now you going into the next segment of the Black Educators Matter. Now you going into
Too
the
many of
next
us are leaving the field.
baby. Yes. But let's deal with this religion aspect. We kind of hit off the camera a little bit of where my brain was as it
This part
relates
ought to be
to
good.
this part of the topic, the religion. One, a big issue in our political forum right now. We hear so much about the evangelicals, and we hear so much. It's like if you say the word evangelical, you automatically think red. You think elephant. It's like that. It is what it is. Whereas many of them probably voted to get rid of the idiot carrot, but ran down the political party line for the rest of everything. Um, but even with that, I'm going to say for me, the religious aspect of things comes in. And I mentioned this was the first year the politicians in my lifetime could not go in the Black church and lie their way into office.
Yeah.
Okay, you fix my
And
street.
ironically, we had a huge turnout this year too.
Right. This was the first time in my lifetime where, you know, just fixing the street that we've been begging you all to fix for 5 years finally gets addressed right before it's time for us to go to the poll.
Yeah. I
You
wonder
know,
what's the fallout of that? Will they not come back again? Hey, I got in without them. Maybe I don't need them no more.
well,
Or
hopefully now this is mine, and I posted about it, without any issues. But for me, my thing is I want it to be where the preachers and pastors see straight way that is not what our people need. Our people just need to be educated on the issues.
we still talk
They
about
need
pieces
to
of
be
pie though.
right. Our people need to be taught, okay, this is what is really going on. This is what this person for real represents. Yeah, they sound good, but this is what their track record says. And for the first time in a long time, a lot of us actually check track records.
Mm-hmm.
I
Now
can tell you I love you, Alvin, but if I don't show you,
It don't mean a damn thing.
I need to
Empty
see
talking.
something.
you like your necklace. You like that necklace. That's about as good as I can do right now. And you like the necklace. You know what? People gonna be like, okay, really? What kind of show is this for
What are
real?
y'all doing?
They just don't understand.
Look, and I'm just sitting over here reclining.
Right. This my big brother, everybody. So y'all can relax your nerves. I love his wife. I love his children. And so y'all can relax y'all nerves for those of you that may not know the nature of our friendship and our relationship. Um,
One thing that continues to perpetuate the problem from our end of the spectrum is they always seem to find someone that they can manipulate.
yeah, what's those two chicks' names? You know who I'm talking about.
Diamond and something.
Yeah, them. Diamond and whoever both of them, the two women with the real bad weave.
I don't
The
know.
two black ladies that's always on
names.
stage with it was always on stage with the idiot carrot talking about he
Oh,
did.
okay. I got some recall of who they are, but I ain't paying them no attention.
Yeah, no,
But
well, no one
even
that
think
has
about,
this
in other
history.
words, they look for a Judas. We are filled with Judases.
And unfortunately, Kanye was so mentally thrown off until he was being used as a pawn and didn't even realize it.
Because how can you say in one breath George Bush hate black people? He say, "I'm vote for Donald Trump."
I pray that someone for real helps
Diamond
him.
and Silk.
Yeah, Diamond and Silk.
Lynette Hardaway and Rochelle Richardson.
Yeah.
They was looking for a paycheck.
Huh?
They was just looking for a paycheck too.
Where's it at?
They're selling out.
Them. Can't
Oh
see it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They look like they retired.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
found the orange pimp. Put them back to work.
Yeah. Somebody needs to put them to work. But, we talk about, and I brought up the evangelicals for a reason, because if you go back to the beginning of the hoods, they came out of the church. Their message was disseminated through the church.
That's where we get the endorsements from. If this preacher endorses this candidate, then all those that follow that preacher are going to follow that candidate. At least they hope.
But then, right. But then, unfortunately for us, that same, instead of sticking to the fields, we had to emulate once again what the massa was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then the massa wanted to make sure that they control the narrative. So the messages had to come from within, quote unquote, what was becoming the Black church.
Ironically, you bring it up. Pastor Fred Price from North California. Someone inboxed me with a video of him dealing with racism in the church.
Oh, he went in.
Oh,
Is it
you
the
saw
one
it?
where he snapped about from a few years ago, where
Oh
he
yeah,
talked
because he was
about
young.
being Black?
He said we were the most well-behaved, most loyal people in the country. We fought on both sides of the war because we were loyal, well behaved. You didn't tell us
Right.
thank you or nothing. He even made a he said they apologized to Japan and gave $20,000 to each person, but don't want to give reparations to us. He went in.
Yeah.
And they apologized. They don't want to apologize to us. He said we were the most loyal. He just went down the line of things. And as a result, I think that's why we have the hostility that we have.
Because everyone has been validated but us.
Right. Because we're the
literally broke our backs.
And our backs was the one that was broken to build the country.
Oh, it would be and it still wouldn't without us.
Right.
Marcus Garvey was on to something. However, I don't know if going back, but now if you look at Liberia looks the same as y'all east side and our west side. Because that plague of hating on one another is still in full effect.
Right.
So, in fact, that's how we ended up over here. They didn't just come on Africa to take us. We were sold. We were given away.
Right. It was like some of us
They
turned around
sold their enemies.
Yeah.
They sold their enemies off to slave traders.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
And now the descendants of the salesmen are coming over here and reaping benefits.
Right.
Setting up their own churches, their own businesses, and basically with the smug attitude saying we're doing what you could. No, we couldn't because they wouldn't let us.
Right. And see, they're able to come in and get certain funding that we have been denied. Those of us who are domestic Blacks.
Right.
Funding that we are unable to access.
So we have to be smarter with what we do have access to.
Right. And that's been a big part of the problem. We haven't been smart when we do get access.
Yeah.
or with how we gain access. And see, and people have a lot of, and this is just D talking right now. People have problems with the way a lot of, you know, whites and other cultures manage to get things, get money, get resources. But the reason they're able to do it is because they talk to each other.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And they
They
help each
tell,
other. They don't take advantage of
right,
each other.
right. You
Ain't no
know,
susus.
right. It's like I'm not gonna just get mine and then you get it the best one. Like, okay, I'll take this as an example. You have a lot of different people who sell lashes. You have a lot of people who do body butters. You have a lot of different people that do a lot of the things that are the same. There have been forums pages that I've been a part of where people have just asked not for how much are you paying, but just for a couple of leads on potential vendors because they just simply wanted. Now they're in different states, they're in different locations. Most of the time, these people don't even know each other.
Mm-hmm.
But people's like, I'm not gonna turn around and you can pay me for the oh baby, yeah, you can
Yeah.
pay me for my
Yeah.
vendor list, or you can do I'm not gonna just give it to you. I had to do research. You gonna pay me for my time. And that's why we don't progress.
We don't help one another. Because if that person who has it helps someone else who doesn't, the person who they help is going to be indebted to them if they're grateful.
And they're gonna turn
They're
around
gonna
and,
meet
and talk
people.
about their business
They're
with
gonna meet
somebody
people the
else.
other person may not ever know and make a connection.
Right.
So they cut their hands off. Now you mentioned that there's the other problem too. We limit ourselves on what we're involved in. And we saturate the market with the same exact products made by the same people. We can never you can never get
Mm-hmm.
ahead because everybody's doing butter, everybody's doing this, everybody's doing that. Oh, that's a new thing. Let me jump on that. Nobody's taking full advantage of their uniqueness or finding what else works or spreading out.
Right. Now, I want to say this with what in regard to what's going on in the Southern Baptist Church. I know you said you weren't really privy on a whole lot of different things that was going on, but there are a couple churches, pretty significantly sized churches up in the metro Chicago area that, one of the pastors put it out in an open letter as to the reason why he and his congregation were pulling out of the church, the Southern Baptist convention, not from the church. I misspoke. Out of that particular convention, there were programs in place that were supposedly there to assist with um, that were supposedly there to assist with bringing more unity, I guess you could say it that way, between the Black and the white churches in the Southern Baptist
Diversity,
Convention.
sensitivity.
Yeah. And when it was time for things to come to a head, it didn't quite go that way. So they was like chunking the deuces.
Really?
And what really hits home for me is I know someone who is being put in position within that particular organization. Black man, very vocal about being Black, Black wife, Black children, the whole gamut. But because of the position that he is being placed in, it's like, okay, we've got all of these other Black churches that are coming out, but then we're going to find this one token.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, they're gonna find
And
one too,
it
right?
bothers me, well, for two reasons. One, because of the person that it is, but two, what makes you think you can change the hearts of people that claim to love God? And he's not even been able to do it.
Mm. Ooh.
Wow,
Ooh.
that's
Okay, Mike Tyson.
powerful. God can't do it; it can't be done. I
They
believe
have
God can.
chosen to remain like that. Okay, we have a. I'm gonna push on, but it says other groups know how to take advantage of opportunities, be appreciative, and share the knowledge. The domestics are afraid someone else will capitalize on the information given.
Yeah, crabs in the
That's
barrel.
it.
Yeah,
Huh?
crabs in the barrel.
That's exactly what Keith said. But instead of us focusing on the crabs, that's going above us, everybody needs to focus on who put us in the barrel in the beginning.
Mm.
Yeah, get out,
Well,
get on out, get on out, get on out.
Yeah, because see, if enough of y'all get out, y'all can knock this mug over and all of us can get free.
See?
Look, just shift the foundation just enough to tilt this joint over. Get the ant mentality. Enough of us work together, we'll make things happen. Say he can't. And you're right. You're right. Now, I want to say, as far as the rhetoric, we were talking about how the message was disseminated through the church and the various organizations, and the main message goes out, and then the rest of it kind of funnels its way to where it needs to go. Now, many churches have been closed since
A
the
year
pandemic.
almost. Yes.
Yeah. But one thing I've noticed is that nothing has really changed by way of how certain information is still disseminated amongst certain organizations.
Okay.
When Facebook, and if we think back maybe about 6, 7 months ago, well, I'll go back a little bit further now that we are going into March. About 6 or 7 months ago, 8 months, we Facebook started really cracking down on everybody and all the rhetoric. And, they were talking about all the stuff going on with Russia and everybody under the sun. You could open up a brand new Facebook account and you can only have your profile picture on there. And then you got 3 people creating fake accounts, with your picture. There was an influx.
Or dead people.
Or that.
I've been getting inboxes by so many people that I knew personally that I know it did because I was at the funeral.
Right. And so when you're dealing with that, and then so the algorithms kept changing and kept changing and kept changing.
All
And
right, truth reigns.
uh-huh. That's my twin.
Oh, okay. He'll always
That's
be shackled. All right.
that's it. Yeah. And she's right. The Southern Baptist Church would never allow a black man in position to even to ever change. And you're right. They may be willing, but he'll always be shackled. You're exactly right.
We'll
But
just give you a little bit to keep you going.
huh?
Just giving you a little bit to keep you going.
Right.
mm-hmm.
It's like that appeasement, like when we shoot somebody and kill them. I'm gonna give the family a little bit of money and then we're gonna move on to the next one.
Mm-hmm.
We're dealing with cases, not causes.
Mm-hmm.
And until
Absolutely.
we get in place where we're dealing with the causes and see, that's why the protests from this summer were so effective, because everybody fell behind the cause
Not just
and not
cases.
just the case.
Simultaneously in all parts of the country.
That part.
Mm.
That part. It was when that 8 minutes 46 seconds or 47 seconds was publicized, and then you had the situation that had happened months prior with a Ahmad. I always say his Arbery. I always say his first name kind of it's like my mouth. Ahmad Arbery. You know, when that video surfaced, hey. Oh, I saw the smirk on the face. You know, but when all of this stuff started popping off at the same time, it's like, okay, we really need to go ahead because people are tired and people start getting madder and madder and madder. And that's why I tell all my white friends, Black folks just frustrated right now.
Yeah.
Even during the protest, I told myself, we just frustrated. We ain't got hard down mad yet.
Right. That was nothing. That was frustration from being pit in, quarantined.
Mm-hmm. It's
Uh,
like
and
people were
they
just
use it as an
tired.
excuse too. They use it as an excuse.
Yeah.
Right.
But a lot of it was staged too, and staged by white people to help
Right.
perpetuate.
And see, you went on and hit it. The 8 minutes 46 seconds
Yep,
shook the humanity of people.
he
Yeah.
sure did.
And,
Yeah, I
and
could not believe he put his hands in his pocket and leaned
just
down
stayed there.
deeper.
Right.
It's like he's toe to toe. He wouldn't deal with him. They already had him in the car. They took him out of the car. If there was
Right.
ever a time where a scene from Cornbread and Early Beach should have been reenacted, it should have been there.
Well, see, what pisses me off is you can use the same thing for the Laquan McDonald situation right there in Chicago. There was no reason, for him or anybody else that's running from a scene to catch that many bullets.
Right.
That my thing is you all are, here in Indy, Drejon Reed, you have all these people who have been trained to shoot.
Stop a crime.
Right. It's called catch a nigga kneecap. You don't have to catch him in the mask.
Oh no, they're
You
not
don't
trained
have
to
to
shoot the
catch him
kneecap.
in the
That's
mask.
trained to shoot to the mask. That's what they're trained to shoot.
I know, but I'm like, if somebody's running from you, you can stop them from running. Catch a kneecap.
Well,
They
he
go
wasn't really
straight
running. He
down.
was walking away. He wasn't running. He
No,
just
but I'm just saying, period. That's the excuse. I feared for my life while I'm running.
While the person's running away from me.
Right.
But I was fearing for my life.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
But so when it comes down to the rhetoric, we don't research.
No, we don't.
We hear something that sounds good.
And we're Google scholars. And just because it's on Google does not make it right.
You mean Google lies?
Google will manipulate what they want the people to know.
Yeah.
They won't put the truth in there, but it might be on the third or fourth page. We're not going past the third entry.
Just like the pulpit.
Yes.
Oh, man. Don't you get me started with the eisegetic.
But think about what we were just saying about how, how the message was being given to the people. Yeah. I love her. It's like Google lies is like
she said the Google lies just like the preacher's lies.
Right. It's like the masses had never seen the pure evil of people. They only read about it.
Not realizing that the art imitates life.
Mm-hmm. In the case of Mr. Floyd, it was live and in color.
Right.
But the sad part is how many times have they heard the story? But the sad part was they heard the stories, but they only saw the mugshots of the people.
Yep.
That's like Cassandra Blair.
That now I'm shut up, D. Yeah. Because there's some pieces of that puzzle that still upset me to this day that had nothing to do with the system. But yeah, I'm going. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
that's
I honestly, they told other parts of that story because
right. There's always
I honestly, now I'm gonna just say it. I honestly believe that she was a victim of sexual assault
you went to where my head was. I truly and because
because that's a
there
custom in that
was
area. That region, that was a custom. It is embedded in their community. They used to do it all the time. You wanted something, they just go take a black woman because that's what they felt like, and they've been so used to getting away with it. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go there.
no. But that's what we're discussing.
Right,
That's what we're discussing. And see, for me, and what
and the
made me say
perpetuation of it
that
all.
she experienced something traumatic was because that fake mugshot that they put out there.
Yes,
And fake mugshot look beat the
It
hell up.
was it was like her fake. It was like, I don't care if you open my eyes, you can't fake distress on a face
right,
that died in distress.
right,
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have time to fix that.
right.
Nope.
I don't care how good of a
Her,
much.
her
Yeah,
face was in distress.
yep.
And see, yeah. So you went. I didn't realize that that particular area was.
No, I mean, no, I'm not talking about that area per se. The South, in the
Oh yeah.
South,
Oh yeah.
in the
Yeah. You can
South.
get
Yeah, that's
quite
what I
off the
meant.
roof.
Mm-hmm.
It was just,
Yeah.
oh,
You
come here,
can get
girl.
quite.
I like you.
And if I don't come, then okay, we got issues. Okay, hold
Right.
on a second. We have a comment. Correct. Sandra Bland, Kwan McDonald, and the brother in Florida all in all of these scenarios, there's a lot of misinformation and a tremendous cover up. And the sad part is, if they would take the same initiative to peel the onions back, like they're doing allegedly with January 6th, heads
Yeah,
from the
yeah,
top would roll.
yeah, yeah.
And that's why there's always that payout. That's
And the
why
reason
Black
they're doing
folks
it
are
January,
never surprised when lesser charges are given, because like I said, I could give a damn about January 6th until some murder charges start coming down, because every person that was a part of that insurrection needs to be charged with murder. Now, if me and Key went out and I turn around and all she's doing is giving me a ride because I don't have a vehicle, and I go and I knock somebody's head off and she don't realize it, but then I get back in her car, they coming to get her just like they coming to get me. And she's gonna get charged with murder and go down just like me, even though she had no knowledge, had nothing to do with it. All she did was gave a friend a ride. Now, all of these clowns was there on purpose. All of these people that rolled up in there, they walked. Now, if you were 15 miles down the street and you weren't able to get up in there, you safe, because you wasn't. You may have been at the rally, but you didn't breach the Capitol grounds as far as being in there when things were going on. This is D talking. Every last one of them scam boogers need to be charged with murder, because a felony, a murder took place
Yep.
at that time during the commission of the other felonies that they were committing.
Yep.
So every last one of them, and I bet you bottom dollar, they gonna try to find a law with the right language to keep it from jumping off.
Absolutely.
well, I don't know. Uh, I wouldn't be surprised if what you say does come to pass, but I will say I have been following it. And they were coming out with so many more video accounts for the impeachment,
Mm-hmm.
where I really was on mixed feelings about that impeachment too. But I'll say this: I will say this, that if Trump was a little bit darker, he got impeached even though he was out of office.
Yeah, they tried to crucify Barack Obama. They forgot the other half is white.
Right.
But
Just because,
they tried to crucify him
hey,
Yeah.
hey, hold on, wait a minute. I'm
for
married,
nothing.
guys. Like I am married. When I'm married, I'm good. But if I'm Barack, I'm a problem.
Right,
He was not married for years.
right.
When he was here in Chicago, it was only when he went to Barack that he was able to ever win a seat because he was directed by a preacher. He said, "Embrace the Afrocentric nature, and you'll get some more support."
Yeah, but Barry blended well as he was going through school.
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah, he looks just like his grandfather. Yeah, you should see
Yes,
his
that's
wife's father.
why that's well, people used to destroy Demetria. That's where D came from. And it wasn't because I didn't appreciate my name, but I just got tired of people jacking it up.
Ain't that it?
Wow, how can you not say
And
that name
so
right?
you can imagine, and it's crazy. I went to school with a guy named Barack. And so I knew how to pronounce it properly.
Mm-hmm.
But you have people, Barrick,
So,
Bay Ray, hey Bay Ray.
yeah. So yeah.
what?
And so when you have situations like that, you get tired of saying that's not who I am. That's not my name. Just call me D.
Exactly.
Just call me Barry. Just call me Key. Just call me Kirk. You know, and
Yeah.
and you know what? See, she's on it. The insurrection was an inside job. Period.
Yeah.
Oh
Yes,
yeah, yeah.
yes, and yes.
And I really believe that very senator who is a representative from Wisconsin who was saying is being overplayed and overhyped. He was a part of it. I believe he was a part
That's
of it.
why. That's why he wants it forgiven and forgotten.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because once they start going to court, his name gonna come up.
Right. That's why he wants it forgiven and forgotten.
But the problem
And
is they're not gonna let it go because
No.
if they did, they have to follow through globally.
we
They have
don't
to.
need to let it go
They're not. They can't let it go. They have to follow through
because it
globally
happened where it
because it
happened.
happened when it happened, and the world saw
Right.
Yes.
it. And if they got that close to form a coup, we don't do that about it. Another one is going forward.
Well, they're already saying that they are planning to go up there on March 4th.
Oh, but I'm talking about there's so many other
Girl.
visitors in our country that we don't know what they stand for.
Right. Right. And you know what's funny? She said her name is Demetra, not Demetria. and
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 hers is the reverse.
right. And the funny part is I get called Demetra all the time. And so I get it. And both of us, I'm sure, catches Demetris. Where's the CI? Yes.
Or the S.
Where is it? Where is it? Or Demetrius? Yeah, yeah. But we laugh, we talking about that part of it, but the reality is it truly is what it is. And when we start talking about responsibility.
Yeah, I'm glad we're segueing back there because we have to become more responsible. Our young people have this energy, they have this drive, they are woke, but they don't listen to their elders.
Mm-mm.
And unfortunately, all of that energy, all of this awakened power is going to be easily manipulated because they don't listen to their elders. They don't listen to the
And
people who have been there and done that, got a t-shirt and a hat. Because
well, see, I'm glad you
we
said
have to
that.
stop. One thing we have to do is stop using racism as an excuse for us not succeeding.
Mm.
Now, I'm glad you said that about being listening to our elders. Everybody's been watching this show. What is it? The Black Messiah or something?
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, I
Judas,
saw that.
Judas and the Black Messiah. And
And
people,
ironically, I grew up not far from where that even happened when they killed him.
and that's what I was just about to say, when I was, kind of talking about it. Alvin mentioned he grew up not far from where all of that jumped off.
Oh, yeah.
And, so when you grow up in the heart and the soul of the movement and you see it put, when you see it toned down, I'll say it that way. When you see it when it has been toned down, because I'm gonna be honest, I wasn't surprised by it because it was like so many, you're gonna get mad and you're gonna be, and I'm like, okay, so they must have really come with the really real. So when I kept saying different people say that, I was like, let me check it out. So I was sitting there waiting to get mad.
I didn't get mad.
I was sitting there waiting on it because I was like, you all are telling part of this man's story, but you're not really telling the
Story. Right.
story.
Mm-hmm.
Well, probably we don't know what's on the editing floor.
Huh?
We don't know what's on the editing floor when they cut
Right.
it, and then you can only put so much in a 2-hour movie.
Right. And see, I'm gonna be honest with you. I noticed that the show, the movie itself, excuse me, took a turn to where where the storyline was focusing more on the snitch,
Mm-hmm.
more so than the movement.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's because that's what it was about. The Judas, the Black Messiah.
And the Black Messiah.
So Judas was
And,
the focal point.
right. And so when they were talking, because I was like, anybody that knows anything about a or have walked down the middle of the street on Easter know when he started talking about Judas, it's somebody that's going to betray a quote unquote whomever, wherever.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, so they're going to talk about it. So I figured that part out. It was going to talk about old boy. But then when I watched how they just kind of brushed over the fact that this man had a whole family, that went through 9,000 pounds of hell because of, and it's like, so I watched it, but I was like,
I still haven't watched it.
It was very watered down, even with the pieces of the movement. It was all watered down.
Well, it wasn't the Fred Hampton story.
No.
It was about the Judas character. And that's someone told me that's what Fred Hampton Jr. wanted to be known. He wanted them to see and focus on how his dad was mistreated.
Okay.
So, because at the end of the movie, the actual person was, they showed footage of that person, and they say later that night he killed himself. I don't know if he killed himself. They waited till the 80s and 90s to even do an interview. Did he finally kill himself? I don't know. I think somebody got him because he came clean. No one knew. My uncle, who was about to be initiated into the Panthers, was sent home that night. He was sent home that night. I wish he lives in New Orleans now.
I would love, that would be an amazing, I would love to just,
because
hear his story.
He suggested that a lot of them thought, why was Bobby sent home? Bobby usually stay there. Yeah, you know who Bobby is. U.S. Representative Bobby Rush. So some of the guys who wasn't there, they all was wondering about that too. So there's some unanswered questions still.
There are a lot of unanswered questions, but, not just
They always see, and that's the other part. If we can let go of the criminal element, then we can keep the white man from holding things over our heads.
That part, dude.
See, it's like we love to commit crime, but we don't have to.
We don't like to deal with the consequences of our shit.
That part.
And when they find somebody, he was a smart criminal. He said, everybody got guns, everybody got no badge. I thought that was ingenious. I was like, wow, he's sticking them up as the cops because they know there's a lot of rookie cops. I mean, so
Mm-hmm.
the movie spoke to a whole lot of different degrees,
Elements.
elements. Thank you. Even with Hampton, at, he was only 21 when they got him. So at 19, he going to the
See,
teeth of the gang.
that's the peak. Now, out of everything that was said and done, that brought the most emotion from me
He was a
because I
kid,
was reminded of the fact that he had just gotten to the point where he could, in today's world, legally buy liquor.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. He was a kid thinking like a
But
grown
think
man.
about, I mean, and that's what you said was profound. If we were to take our street mentality and apply it in ways that we can get that same hustle going,
Because that's
but
what
from
the
a
politicians
legal
do.
standpoint, the bookies, hell, play the stock market. You good at calling it? Play the stock. Do your
Yep.
research and
Right.
and play the stock market.
So many
Make
other
that
markets you
money.
can play other than just the criminal piece.
That's that. See, you
But
with me?
see, this goes back to the
Reparation.
perpetration,
Yeah,
perpetual imagery that they show our young black people.
right.
Mostly because a large majority of the elders have presented themselves as cowards. True.
Ooh.
That's true. But I ain't no
Elders
coward.
and
If not you won't listen to me, I thought I knock the hell out.
right. And it says the elders in a lot of cases are more immature than the young people are.
Shoot, I
Um,
don't even listen to them.
but the crazy part, if we look back at a lot of the interviews during the protests of of 2020,
Mm-hmm.
our young people were spitting so much knowledge and information. And then some of our older people that they were interviewing, I was like, y'all lived through this in the 60s, and that's all you can say.
That's like the difference between, the
Well,
conversations between my daughter and my
yeah,
mother.
We continually forget we are smart people that do dumb things. And that's the truth.
that's the real truth.
That's the truth. So back to being responsible, we're gonna so the organizations that's doing it and doing it right, the people that are sitting up there with the suits that and the grants that really you all are able to get the money, but you want to control it all. You need to humble yourself and you need to continue to get the resources. This is D talking, okay? Continue to get the resources, but partner up with those quote unquote, to use the term we used earlier, worker bees. The ones that's already garnered the respect on the different levels.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that can get the ones that know what's happening, that's not snitching, that's not doing this, that, and the third. The ones that can connect with the ones that really make stuff move in the streets.
Mm-hmm.
Partner with them. Make the worker bees that's on the corner don't have to know that the worker bee that's in the suit is the one that got the money. All they need to know is y'all need to be over here on such corner at such time because they gonna have food baskets and boxes available so you can feed your family.
Right.
That don't try. We have too many people trying to reinvent the wheel.
Too many chiefs.
And this is, like I said, this is D talking. We have too many people trying to be in charge and have their name in the paper or be the one to get that exclusive interview with the news people when they come around. Just put out a press release if you want your name in the paper.
Oh, Jesus. She said a
Well,
press release.
you know what? I was asked, how come I don't, you know, do this or do that or the different things to get my name out there. I said, fame don't mean fortune.
Nope.
Boy, you know what?
Nope.
That's a post.
I'm typing. I'm typing.
That's a post. Fame don't mean fortune.
I'm typing.
It
So
mean a whole bunch of headaches.
yeah, and if I use this medium of social media to broadcast and put it out there, I need to know that I'm doing this for my glory, for mine, not But that's not who I'm wired to be.
Right. And you are
Uh,
very, very humble. If people knew how much sense was really up under that hat, it would shock them. I
if I
mean,
knew,
you know what? It says that's our biggest weakness, control. We don't know how to use our resources wisely. It's the same thing that happens in the past and Noah. What?
yeah,
What?
man. Now, see, that statement takes me back to the movie Dango and the character that Samuel Jackson played so well.
Yes.
I've never
Fame.
hated him. I've never hated Samuel Jackson before in any movie he played in.
Now, you know what? That right there showed me just how deep he really is as an actor. It's one thing for us to fool around and play that master role, but if you look at how he internalized
He
Yes.
did the job with that one.
and how it wasn't so much just saying the lyrics, it was like he internalized
He
that
became
character
that
to
house
the
nigga.
point where I'm like you, I didn't want to see him on crap, no commercials,
Nope.
nothing
For
for
a
a
minute.
while.
Yeah.
He did.
And I
He did
knew
his
it was
job.
a character.
Because
Huh?
Lord, that face he made when they saw him ride the horse, that look of this. And then there's a scene when he's in the master's study, drinking out the glass and smoking a cigar with him like he's an equal, but he's not an equal. The contrast between those between what was happening there.
Right.
It was like you gonna call him master. He's seeking counsel from you. He's seeking your wisdom. So he sees the value you are in your knowledge, in your age of knowledge, of being old. But yet you don't realize, or you just come to accept the fact that this is the best I can get, so I'm gonna take it and make it what it is, as opposed to saying this 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 black he free and he doing that. I want to be like you. So that goes back to what Dee said, that she didn't trust her elders. That's a case too, and that's one of the problems. We have some dumb. We have, and I said elders. I don't mean them old fools. See, we got a lot of old fools.
There's a difference.
You know, I'm a young fool, but I'm an elder. I know when to change the hats around. See, that's elder,
You know what?
You know what? That gave him a totally different
It
look.
did. It did. That's why I was like, you know what?
and that's old fool. This old fool.
No, that is actually that cat that I would roll up on and be like, look, if I'm lost somewhere,
Yeah.
You ain't
it's
gonna
like
ask
now
this dude. You ain't gonna ask him.
that
You
would be
ask
who
me.
I would ask because that's the one that know how to get away.
You
This
would
one
ask
right
this one
here.
though.
This one right here. It'll be the other one she would ask.
I wouldn't ask that one.
About this one.
It depends on what part of town you're in.
Buddy.
Yeah.
It
Why do good
depends on
girls like
what
bad
part of
boys?
town. But that is exactly what they do to us now, just in a different way.
Yep.
You're exactly right. You're
Yep.
exactly right. But for those that we've digressed and we've kind of just gone around a few, extra laps or what have you with this topic. But when I say I appreciate, see, see, see,
West Side.
he is so silly. Look, living all the way in the suburbs.
Right, well,
Listen, all the way.
Look, I'm not gonna go west to where, but it's like all the way in the suburbs.
You know what? A few weeks ago, I was near my house where you visited when I lived in the city. And
I think about you guys every time I go through there.
I went, what happened? I felt safe over here.
Really? So it's gone down since you all were over there, even?
That's why I left. I didn't want to leave at first. That's why I left. I left because my neighbor's son was killed. It was just getting crazy. And
Oh my.
racism would die when we would stop doing to each other. We do more harm to each other than they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said if the suits would start listening to the sneakers and the
Mm-hmm.
jeans
And vice
and
versa.
go ahead and get that look right. And then the sneakers and the jeans turn around and learn what the suits know about getting those resources in place,
And don't
and
get
they partner all of that together, there's no limit.
yeah. Because see what happens is the suits, especially in the church, they'll pastor church in the hood and then drive 30 minutes away back home. They're not connected to their community at all.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
You know,
And see, the funny part, people talk about my dad, in the community, down where we were, down in Mississippi. And they wondered why all the young people were leaving the churches and coming to our church. It wasn't because of anything grandiose. We didn't have this, it was a nice size church or whatever, but there was no pomp and circumstance. The young people came because my dad loved the young people. And my dad kept it real with him. He was like, all y'all know, and he would say it from the pulpit all the time, all you all know is Pastor Brand. All you all know is President Brand. You all don't know OC. He was like, he said, let me, and he did. He had some of his friends that knew OC come down
oh Lord.
from Chicago to talk to the young people.
Oh Lord.
And it's like, see, you all wonder why I'm able to walk into the courtroom, because he was chaplain. He's like, y'all wonder why I'm able to walk into the courtroom and talk to the judge and talk to, the sheriff or the chief or whomever, and just have you all come out of there on my name alone without having your parents dropping money. It's because I have been where you are. He was like, the stuff that's going on down here, he was like, I was in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I learned these lessons on a totally different level. He said, I wasn't in and out of jail, but I was around it. He was like, I lived a lot of it. He was like, and then he went into the military. He, went over, did what he had to do, and then he came home. And he ended up, with a family and this, that, and the third. He was like, there are levels. He was like, a lot of the things, and he helped everybody to understand the things that you're going through them not for yourself, but for somebody else.
Yes.
It's like, you're not going through that for yourself. You're going through it because somebody else is going to need your story.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Somebody else is going to need you to let them know that in the midst of all of what's going on and all that you're experiencing, it does get better.
Yes. That is your
Need that.
ministry.
Yeah. And then the other part of that was he kept it real. He kept it 100. Like when Key and some of the girls came, this is just how 100 my daddy was. We were on the way back to Valley. And, he had a very unique way with saying things. So he was talking to us about, well, mainly them, because I'd heard it all my life, about being careful about connecting with guys at school. He was like, you guys talk, they say they're not going to tell it if they hook up with you.
Oh, they
But
tell it. They brag
like,
about it.
but
They lie
don't
about
think
it.
that all of the sudden you became the prettiest thing on campus. It was like after he got it and he told them it was good, or he told them you were easy, then they said, okay, well, I'm going to line up. It's my turn next. He was like, and heaven forbid if you go down on him.
Woo! Now, mind you, this is the first time I've ever met this man. I'm in the car with him on the way back to college.
Hey,
and it's a minister. And I'm just sitting there going,
not like that.
The whole way back to school.
All of them were just, they looked at each other, they looked at me, and when we got back to school, that became the talk of campus for a while.
Yes.
Because it was like, her daddy just gave it to you, just raw and real. But, you know, that's what it takes. That's what I grew up with. So people that wonder why I'm the way I am, that's the way my parents talked to me. My mom, she was this sweet educator and, you know, and all of this, that, and the third. But mama, she had her own unique way of, she would say, you know, pay attention to his signals. Because if you're not paying attention to his signals, trust me, there's somebody over there that's learning every last one of the ones that you ignore. And
that's the truth.
Mama Lou. Mama Lou.
So it's like, so that I couldn't help it. I had to come out the way that I am.
And ain't nothing wrong with
it. Which leads me to you being the way you are. I've, you know, watched different posts, like when you post your mom.
Okay.
And how raw and uncut she was. You couldn't help but keep it real, Carter. Yeah. Because that is innately who you are.
Yep.
I couldn't help but be somebody that cares about the underdog, that cares about the community, that cares about racism, especially being the only child at these different meetings as they are working to put these NAACP chapters in place all over the state.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't help but care about my people, to love my Black man.
Yes.
Because all y'all are mine. You know, that I'm not saying anything brand new. You know, I claim all of y'all, even the crazy ones. You know, I'm just gonna need y'all that's got a little sense to kind of grab the reins of the crazy ones. But, you know, we even have control. You know, I even love the crazy ones. I married one.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, yeah. But I want to say I appreciate you, Alvin. I appreciate your candor. I appreciate your honesty.
Thank you.
I appreciate the fact that as a Black man, you don't pretend that everything that's wrong with society is because the white man did it.
No.
And I'm serious when I say I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we talk about racism and how everything, the rhetoric, you know, Rush Limbaugh just died. God bless his family.
He rest in,
you know, God bless his family.
Friend of mine said, may he rest in piss.
I didn't even.
Right. And so, you know, it's a deal
I would
where
prefer, if it's me, y'all don't say rest in peace either. I want to rest in something else to start with P.
All right, then we'll make sure that that's on the billboard. Alvin said, may he rest
in
piano.
In a very provocative place.
There you go.
I had to think about it because I don't need to. We'll made it all the way through.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden the whole video shut down.
Right.
I say that one word.
They put him in a wop. They buried him in a wop.
I'm done. I'm going to bed. I am going to bed.
Yeah. He came and went at the same time.
I'm going to bed.
You know, there was a guy that did that recently.
Really? Lucky bastard.
Yeah, yes. He did that recently. Like, for real, it was a guy that did that. He
Soon
did
I
that.
will be done with the troubles of the world.
That world lasted for a while.
I'm going home to live with. Oh my God.
And look, and then you finished, and you open up your eyes at the gate. Like, I didn't mean literally. That's not what. Like, I wasn't wanting you to take that in a literal.
Too soon. I didn't get my cigarette. Now I know exactly who that is.
I'm sorry. Look.
Now I know
I'm
exactly
sorry.
who Truth Rain is.
He just don't put us down, Alva. She's sitting right here, and she's just doing this. But she know. Look, she's not surprised because she knows us. Oh boy.
I do.
Oh boy. Okay. You wanna? Oh, you wanna say anything?
Nope. I ain't saying nothing.
He was like, I ain't saying
I'll be good. I
nothing.
promise. I'll be good. I'll be good. You can talk. I'll be good.
He said he gonna be good.
Lies and blasphemy.
But it's been spectacular, chopping it up and us laughing and joking, and it's a good way to end such a serious discussion. Definitely. But I brought up Rush Limbaugh for a reason, because he was the master of rhetoric. Now, I can't say that he truly believed a whole lot of the mess that came out of his mouth, but he knew that is what it took to make the money.
He was a shock jock, yeah.
So, to say what was truly in his heart, because there are a lot of people that say a whole lot of stuff because that is reality TV. Take that, for example.
Ain't nothing real about it.
Right. Everything about reality TV is not real. It's scripted, the whole gamut. And so it's one of those deals I have often wondered, not just with him, but with several others. But with him dying, it makes you think about it more. So It's like, okay, how much money do you think was kicked in his direction to be the voice of rhetoric for the MAGA team? You know what I'm saying? Because so many people listen to him.
And that would make him the ultimate sellout.
Right. So, while I say I condolences to his family, only because as someone who's lost a parent, well, both of my parents, I do sympathize with them, because apparently they loved him because he was a part of them.
Right.
But as it relates to his voice being silenced on all of the things that he would say to throw kerosene on an already out of control wildfire,
mm-hmm.
I have no feelings as it relates to, no remorse as it relates to that coming to an end.
If only the character had died, not necessarily the man.
And see, that's it. It's like, we talk about the persona versus the person.
Yeah.
And even with number 45, he has this big persona. But the person showed up when he lost for real. Because he talks big in front of, or types big on the platforms.
Mm-hmm.
But then when things didn't go his way, he did the flight move instead of the fight move.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my Jesus. Hmm. Well, hello, sir. How are you? He not on Facebook, so I guess it don't
Oh,
count.
look at there. Oh.
Look, you heard me. He's on hiatus from Facebook.
Oh Lord. Oh Lord, it's about to go through all different. It's about to go left.
No,
No, it
it's
ain't.
not
No, it
gonna
ain't.
go well. All is well, dear, with your hot self.
Hey, bro.
She tells me, hey boo. But yeah, it's my other husband. My husband said that it's okay for him to be my other husband.
Yeah.
So, I'm the only one that can actually say that Sir Walter Jones is my second husband. And my husband, by law, approves.
Oh Lord.
I'm special.
In what way, someone?
You know what? Leave me alone. But yeah, so as far as with him, I appreciate like we was talking about the persona versus the person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like you. I would have preferred the persona to kill over just to keep his family from being heartbroken. But if that is truly what was in his heart, good riddance to bad rubbish.
Wow.
And I know that's kind of rough. It's legal in all one states. So, but Alvin, I thank you. I appreciate you. I'm not
Thank you for
gonna
having
hold
me.
you any
Thank you for
longer.
having me.
It has true. I hate that Walter was on his social media hiatus because this would have been a fun conversation to have him
Yeah,
as a
and
part of.
I'm used to him leading the way, and I just kind of help.
Look, you all are the perfect tag team. I promise you. You all are truly the Kirk and Sir Walt. Oh yeah, that's the perfect tag team.
Yeah, definitely.
It's like,
And I see so many versions of what God used us to do back in 2014. I'm
you
like,
looking
man,
at what?
often duplicated, but often imitated, but never duplicated, I should say.
Well, I take that back. We're not like Alvin and Sir
No,
Walt.
y'all, you guys have your own thing happening.
Yeah, but I
Y'all have a
love
good
what
thing.
y'all had going on. I'm not gonna lie,
Right.
because the variety of the topics, and all of that kind of stuff, and how you all would dissect different things, and how Walter was so open until he would let pugs and all kinds of guests come through and
And we had our
and
share of politicians visit our show too.
yeah, I know.
In fact,
And half of them were in the church.
one political preacher came and called himself going to beat us up.
Oh yeah.
That often
He
comes
didn't
up in our
realize who he
discussions and
was
reflections.
dealing with at the time.
No.
Huh?
He didn't realize, he thought he knew who he was gonna be dealing with. He didn't realize who he was dealing with till he got there.
Well, he thought he did, but
That's what I said. You know what?
What is it? Oh, yeah, he did.
all I said was, hey, if anybody can call somebody fat, he's a fat man. I know about the struggle. Been dealing with it all my life. All I said was he claimed to have walked across the nation. And I said, how you walk across the United States of America and you still fat? That's all I said.
So you just asked the question.
Just ask a question. You mean to say you don't walk from New York to LA and you still in
Walter, are
5X?
you available to join this chat via video? That would be a hot mess.
Oh no.
Are you available to join via video? Because if you are, I got a link for you. Ha ha ha. See, he talking about some shit. I guess he's sitting up here saying that he told the truth. Are you available? Let's see. And he said, and he got a with his goons and called Alvin fat part. You know what?
Yeah, but his
No,
goons was
man.
fat as he was. So it was just gonna be a bunch of sumo wrestlers going at it.
You know what? Look, we about to end this because it's about to take a. He said he's in a meeting. That's too bad. We're gonna have to turn around and pull the crew together and just show people how to have a good time.
I done sent him the link.
He ain't gonna join. He said he in a minute. That is the pussagration. That's it. That's it. But you need to step out, go to the bathroom or something for a long just step out and go to the bathroom or something.
Yeah.
But look,
Oh, he's at work. He's at
just
work.
like Papa.
Yeah, he's at work.
Uh-huh.
He's putting the beef in the tacos.
It's Wednesday. It's not Tuesday like we normally on. He said he's at work, he putting the beef in the tacos. I told him it's Wednesday, it's not Tuesday. See? This why Facebook blocked y'all. They showed it. This was before we even went live. The notification that they were not going to air on the this thing page. They would not let us do it. So thank goodness for you two, because you still here. Hey boo. Now.
Did he get on there?
No, he's not coming. He said he's in a meeting. So I'm going to let him have that this time. But we're going to have to schedule something. Okay? We're going to have to do it G5 style.
That'd be nice.
We're going to have to do it. Look, just for the people. Now, you talk about we're not even going to, we'll just let them know straight away. We're not putting this on Facebook. Y'all might as well just come straight to YouTube.
Right.
This is not, yeah, this is not going on Facebook. Not even in a private group, because they would still block it. Right. But anyway, Alvin, I love you. I appreciate you. Thanks, Walt, for popping in. And
love you, Alvin. Love you, Walter.
Love you,
for blessing us with your presence. So what I'm gonna do is, Alvin, if you wouldn't mind, I'm gonna let you wrap up the segment with whatever it is you want to say to take us out.
Well, first, let me thank you for including me in such a discussion as this. We didn't touch a whole lot on the education piece. Which actually is a whole nother show, to be honest with you, because there's so many layers. Yeah, because to pull back the layers of racism in education is really, really, especially right now. If the pandemic didn't do anything, it showed us the importance, or it showed us the distinct differences of the haves and the have-nots.
Yes, sir.
But it also showed that we can come up with resources when we want to. Schools that say they didn't have, but all of a sudden every student, there was a one-on-one computer. How come they didn't have one-on-ones from the beginning? These are questions you can ask. But I will say that if racism ends, it has to end from within. You said it best, that God can't change their hearts. There's nothing we can do that will change the hearts of a hater. Racism has to be seen as hate. And as Martin Luther King said, you cannot defeat hate with hate. You got to defeat it with love. But loving yourself, when you love yourself, in spite of all those around you that's hating you, you'll still triumph and you'll still prosper. We have a we call it the BHT team. We have the behavioral health team in our school. And they talk about these emotional traumas that so many kids face. And they had the teachers to take a survey. and the highest score you can get is a 15. I scored a 15. And they said, of all the different traumatic things you experience, so 15 is bad. That means this person is not supposed to function. This person is not supposed to be here. And when I honestly took the survey, I scored a 15. And they said, wow. I said, it's about choice. I said, I've literally seen some things. My family took the fun and dysfunction, but I refused to have a dysfunctional family myself because I knew it wasn't right. I didn't use the excuse. I saw my dad beat my mom. That didn't mean I was going to beat Regina. Not to say that she would let me, but, you know,
No, that would be a fight.
I mean, well, hey, I come from a bunch of, I grew up on the West Side fight. You had to fight, and I was the whip of the block, and I could, but still, I could fight. I just think that it's a matter of choice. We keep making choices that do not benefit us. Because if we get, as I love how Booker T. Washington said it, cast down your bucket where you are. If we stop looking over there and look within, no matter what's on the outside, we'll always supersede it. We'll rise above it. You have to have a made up mind, and it don't have to be through these pipe dreams. What's killing us now is young people saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be a gamer. I'm gonna make a lot of money with games." It's just like telling every kid want to be an NBA star or an NFL star. It don't work that way. You gotta have a substantial. I'm not telling you don't dream. What I'm saying is have more than one.
Right.
Have more than one. I think I'm a somewhat successful school teacher, and I'm somewhat of a successful musician. Two other things I wanted to do. One is a little bit too late.
What, be
Thought
a
I was gonna.
stripper?
Oh no, it ain't too late. I'm starting to exercise now. Yeah, my name will be Big Greasy.
I told you. I told you. I told you to get off. I told you. I told you.
No, I thought I wanted to be a pastor and I wanted to be a gynecologist, but it's too late to be a gynecologist.
And some of the stuff that you will probably encounter nowadays, you know.
Well, I quit.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, just a thought.
But in short, racism is here. It never went anywhere. It got cloned. It got cloaked. It got toned down. But this just lets you know that just when you thought you've gained, all it takes is one thing to shake their world, and they will show you their true colors. And as Maya Angelou said, when people show you who they are, believe them.
Believe them. Yeah.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
All day, every day. And on that note, I'm going to say we need to schedule the part 2, but that education piece that you were talking about,
yes.
Now, that would be a great G5 discussion.
Yeah. Yeah, because Buddy Gill works in the school too.
Huh?
Buddy Gill works in the school too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so,
I have to walk by one.
Right.
You walk past one a couple of times.
See. I almost said something. Hey, Will said everything else, but I'm gonna be nice going out. But it's one of those deals where I'm about to say, because there's some schools that need to be open, leave a lot of folks with happy marriages. But anyway, that's all I was gonna say.
I'm going down the hall.
But I want to say, huh?
She said she going down the hall. I said, I'm gonna go upstairs.
I'm going upstairs. But I want to say thank you for taking the time, making the time, because you are busy. And so I appreciate you. And we will definitely be in touch, because to be able to have that dialogue from an educational perspective would be absolutely phenomenal.
Absolutely.
That would be absolutely, and we're not talking about, so we have to do another special segment at another time on another day other than Tuesday, then so be it. But
all for it.
So,
all right.
But it's got cosign. Anyway, we love you. We
love you back. Love you more.
And we thank you for talking to us about race, religion, rhetoric, and responsibility. We will be back next Tuesday. Hey, what do you know about shea butter, baby?
Oh.
What do you know about butter? So we're gonna
It
have
feels
a
nice when you rub it on.
girl and the hand motion. Yes, it's real nice when you rubbing it on. Yeah, it's real nice.
If y'all don't get out the damn, get out there,
man.
Get out.
So, we're gonna be talking butter baby on Tuesday. So we will see you all. Hopefully Facebook will let us back on the air since we're not gonna be talking about race, religion, and all that good stuff. Hopefully they'll let us back. So we're gonna talk butter baby. And 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. And we will see you next week on this thing called life. Take care, everybody. Uh-oh.
What's wrong?
I forgot to
You closed out real nice. I was watching on YouTube.
Yeah, hold on. I haven't closed out yet. That's the sad part. I need to end the broadcast.
Lord.